And they found a centipede. No, they found a centipede. Oh, they found a centipede. When they so like this was the tree, and then they pulled it, and they found a centipede. And then like the soil, it was almost as if it was soggy. It felt soggy. It was almost as if like it was decomposing.
Learning is social. Research is clear that we learn by talking about ideas with others. Students need to talk to learn, just as they need to read and write to learn. Talking helps them form and connect ideas. This includes talking with peers and also with those who know more about a topic, such as an instructor. Student discussion also reveals student thinking, which gives instructors information about how to guide instruction. Quality outdoor science experiences should be rich with opportunities for students to talk about science ideas. Taking the time to build a culture of respectful discourse and curiosity creates an environment where students are ready and excited to share their ideas. To participate in discussion, students need to feel physically safe, emotionally comfortable, and valued as individuals. Outdoor science programs tend to put a lot of focus on building a culture of participation and respect in general. It's also important to set up a culture of respect and participation specifically around discussion of science ideas. There are specific methods you can use to go about doing that. Posting and discussing science discussion norms like these make expectations and agreements visible for students. It lets students know what's expected of them and of others and allows them to actively encourage each other to participate. Norms that encourage a group culture of respectful disagreement and discourse make it clear that a disagreement with an idea is not a judgment of a person. This helps students feel safe to participate.
You know, it's cool, it's really cool, totally cool to agree. It's totally cool to politely disagree too and come up with a different explanation for it.
Kind of disagree because this part is white, but this is more white, and it looks like this would be like the outside of a bark or tree.
Did you notice how politely he disagreed there?
Create a group culture where it's cool to be curious, to wonder, and try to figure things out during outdoor experiences. Tell students that you hope they bring up ideas you've never thought about before.
What you guys just did in this discussion, you took me into territory that I have never talked about with anybody, and I've talked about this with a lot of people.
Encourage students to look for nature mysteries and try to learn about their surroundings wherever they go.
That's what we're going to be doing all day today, and that is checking out nature mysteries.
Does anyone have a nature mystery that their partner told them about that they can share? Coach them how to come up with evidence-based explanations and facilitate productive dialogue.
Alexis, do you have a question?
I just know something, and I'm looking at that branch up there, and I'm just wondering how it's not falling.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing!
You can see that it was probably not from this tree.
Okay, what's your evidence for that?
Because the bark or its structure is different.
Okay, its structure is different. Do people agree with what he said, that it came from a different tree? Yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of nods.
I think it might have came from that tree right there because it has about the same color bark.
Students will notice if you yourself are genuinely curious and will be inspired to be more curious themselves. Model curiosity by seeking out the edges of your own understanding. If students find or bring up something you're not familiar with, don't avoid the subject. Wonder about it with them.
You brought into territory, I'm like, wow, that's interesting. I don't know. Yes.
If students ask a question, instead of answering it right away, say, let's try to figure it out together. If students ask what something is, rather than telling them immediately, ask, what do you notice and wonder about it? Which helps them become more observant and curious about the object. Try to come up with new observations, questions, ideas, and perspectives, even about things you are already familiar with.
Interesting, I had never noticed that before.
Tell students you want to build a group culture of curiosity and sharing ideas. Ask them to participate by sharing their thoughts. Ask broad, juicy questions that are intriguing to think about. Broad questions are those that have a variety of acceptable responses, like, what do you notice? Or, what are some explanations for where that branch came from and how it got there? Encourage students to address each other, not just you, and to build upon each other's ideas. When students bring up interesting questions, show appreciation for their curiosity and help them pursue their questions through observation and discussion.
Why do they go in the trees that are sick or dying?
That's a really good question. What do you guys think? Why do you think bark beetles would go in the trees that are sick or dying? Talk to someone next to you.
Oh, maybe because there wouldn't be predators in a sick or dying tree. Because there's other animals in trees, you know? Yeah, so maybe there wouldn't be predators.
If you are genuinely curious about what all your students think, they will sense this attention, and it will make them more likely to participate and feel heard. It will also make you a better discussion leader.
There's like sometimes when animals come and eat that certain animal that's dead.
So,
That's what I think.
can you give an example of an animal eating an
like-
animal that's dead?
Let's say, for example, a raccoon.
Curiosity about student ideas also leads to finding out what students are thinking, which can lead to better teaching. One of the most interesting things about teaching is listening to student ideas, getting glimpses into their brains, trying to figure out what they're thinking, what their ideas are based on, what they understand, and what they're confused about.
I think that everything that eats is a decomposer, even if it's a vegetarian or like a carnivore or meat eater.
So, ask questions, listen, and ask follow-up questions. If you give students interesting science ideas to talk about and support students by creating a culture of discourse, they'll deepen their knowledge in meaningful ways through collaboration with peers. The instructor will know more of what students are thinking, and students will likely keep talking about interesting science ideas, even when you don't tell them to.
Acorn, and then it's outside it's like kind of sharp, and then inside it's furry.
Oh, he broke it?